Hi everybody, and welcome back to this fantastic tutorial for Cinema 4D. This is Moises Perez, aka Moilovito, and I am very glad you're still here with us. In the following lessons, we will model the fourth and last building for this project. So, let's begin. So, this is where we left last time, and as you can see, this is pretty good, and let's start by renaming this to tube and placing it into the building O2 group. And now we're going to go to Google Earth, and here we're going to make a screen capture. And if you are using a Windows, you can use the print screen button. And since I'm on a Mac, I'm going to use the command Control Shift and 4, and that is going to give me the option to select the area where I want to copy. And now I'm going to go to Photoshop and create a new document and paste this part of the screen that we just copied. And here I'm going to do the same that we did with the other buildings. So first I'm going to just get rid of the parts that I don't need. So I'm just going to select this part of the sky and the other buildings. So I'm just going to select that and delete. And I'm going to do the same in this other area. So just select the extra pixels that we don't need and just delete them. And we're going to do the same with the floor because we don't really need that. So now we're going to make a new layer and fill it with any color that you like. Like I'm going to use blue for this example. And now we're going to start getting rid of some of the parts that we didn't get on the first time. So now I'm going to place some guides. I'm just going to invert that color so I can see this better. And now just using the transform tool, we're going to move those points so this building is on the right perspective. You can do this with many different tools like the perspective tool or some of the filters which allow you to correct the effects that the lenses make when you take a picture. And for this I'm just going to use the transform tool. And now I'm using some guides just to make sure that everything is aligned properly. So now we are ready to save the document. So let's go to File, and we're going to use the option Save for Web because this is going to make a smaller file. So let's just save and let's find our textures folder, and we're going to use the same name. We're just going to change to building 04, and now we have saved that. We can come to Cinema 4D and we have to come to the front view, and here again using the Shift V option we're going to bring the viewport settings, and here we're just going to select the new image and we're just going to open it. So now we have to modify some of these options like the offset, so this is on the right place, and we're going to make this a little bit smaller, and we're just going to have it there, just playing around with the values until this is the right size and this is on the right position. So all I'm doing here is trying to make this building similar in size to the other ones, and I'm just looking at the height of the floors. So these floors have to be about the same height as the other floors on the other buildings. So I'm just doing that. So now we're just going to move it up so the floor is on the right place. And now we're going to make a new cube, and we're going to use this as a base, and we're going to resize it. So let's come here and resize this cube. So we're going to do the same process that we did with the other buildings, and this time should be easier because we know how it is done. So we're just going to make sure that this cube is the correct size, and we can go ahead and hide the other buildings. And now we're going to go to the top view, and here we're going to just modify the size of this building on the z-axis, so this has some depth. And now we can come to the perspective view and just move this building a little. There we go. So now we can come back here and come to the front view, and here we are going to rename the cube to building 04, and we're going to place this cube inside of a new null object and rename it to building 04. So now let's select the object building 04, and let's turn on the X-ray option, so this way we can see the background picture. And we're going to use again the ruler, and we're going to just make it the same size as these windows. So I'm just going to check here with these other windows on the second floor, and that looks like a good size. So I'm just going to place that one there, and I'm just going to make a copy of this ruler and move it to the left, make another copy and place it on the left, and make another one and just place it there on that other window. Okay, so now we have all of these rulers, and we're going to make sure that they all align with the other windows on the other floors, and they are okay. So now let's make this building 04 an editable object, and let's use the knife tool, and let's select the loop mode, and we're going to make these different cuts using the rulers as a reference, so this way is much easier. And now we can come to the perspective view, and here we can see the way this building is coming out. And now let's go back to the front view, and here we're going to just take these rulers and move on to the second floor, and using the knife tool we're going to cut just there. And now we can come to the first floor, and we can just make the cuts for the windows and the doors there. Okay, so we're good to continue, and we're going to make one more here and another here. Okay, so now let's go to the perspective view, and we can delete now these rulers that we have, and we're going to select the building 04, and using the live selection tool we're going to select all of those points, and we're just going to delete them, and we're going to make a new symmetry object, and move it to the left. Just place it in the middle of this building because we're going to just mirror all of these polygons so we don't have to model everything again. So let's make this building O4 a child of this symmetry object, and now we can select the symmetry object and turn on the X-ray option for this, and we can see now that all of these doors are just reflected on the left side, so we are not spending any more time doing that because we did that already. So let's make this an editable object, and now we're going to just select those points, and we're just going to weld them together using the weld tool, and we just have to do that with all of these points. And remember that we can achieve the same result using the optimize command, and we have used this command in other parts of the tutorial, so I'm not going to explain that because I have already done. So now that we have finished merging this, we can see that this is one piece. So now let's go to the front view, and here we are going to start selecting the different windows and the doors. So we're just going to select all of these different windows, and we're going to cut there so we can have the other window, and we're going to continue selecting these other windows and this one and also that one, and here we're going to select this door, this other one, that window, and also this door here. Okay, so now let's select these other ones on the second floor, and everything looks good, so we can continue. And let's go to the perspective view, and here we can see that we didn't have on the only select visible elements, so we're just going to deselect all of those polygons at the back. Now let's bring the visibility for the building O1, and we're going to turn off the X-ray option for the fourth building, and we're going to extrude all of these faces. So these are going to be the holes for the windows and the doors, and we're going to use the extrude tool and make three different extrusions. The first is going to be small, the second is going to be a little bit bigger, and the third is going to be small as well. And we're going to place this building inside of the group building O4, and now we can make a quick render, and this looks really nice. So we can see from this other perspective, make another render, and this part is ready, so we're going to continue. We can come to Google Earth, and we can see the kinds of doors and windows that we have to make. So we're going to recycle some of the doors and some of the windows for this first building. So I'm just going to make a copy of these doors, and we're just going to reset the rotation values for these doors. So let's select the doors, and we can come to the coordinates and just reset the angle of rotation. So now we can take this whole group and just move it to this new building. And here we're just going to place these doors in the middle of this window, and It looks a little bit funny. I don't know why. We're just going to move it so it is aligned with the other one. Okay, so now let's continue. We're going to take this group and move it to the very left. And now we can come to the front view. And here we're going to take this group and make these doors fit in this hole. So we just have to resize this group. Okay, that should work. So now we're going to duplicate these doors. Please rename it to doors A, make a copy, and just move it to the right and place it there. And we can make another copy and just place it on the next window. And we're going to go with this process over and over again until all of these windows and doors are finished. So this one is going to be a bit different, so we're just going to scale it up horizontally like that and place it in the middle. And I'm going to start renaming all of these groups. And just the last one. So we're going to duplicate the set and we're just going to move it to the right and continue just with this process, just copying these doors and just moving them and placing them on the holes for the doors and the windows. So now we're just going to rename the rest of the groups. So now we're going to take all of these doors and we're going to place them inside a new group, and we're going to rename this group to second floor. So we can make a copy of this second floor group and rename it to third floor and just move it up. So most of the work is done already and we just have to modify some parts. We're going to delete this doors E. We don't need it, so we can delete it or just hide it. And now we can come to the perspective view and we're going to take both of these groups and just move them closer to us like that. So now we're going to make another copy. So let's select the second floor and duplicate it, and we're going to rename it to first floor and we're going to move it down. So now we're going to go through all of these doors and see which ones we have to delete. So we're going to delete that and also this one, and we keep that one and we delete that one. So we're just going to rename these ones. And now we can just come to the front view, and here we're going to just make sure that these doors or these windows are centered like that. So they are okay now. And now we're going to come to the perspective view and we're going to take all of these elements and place them inside of this building 04 group. So we have everything organized. Okay, so let's take all of these doors and windows out a little like that. And now we're going to just open these windows. So we're just going to rotate them and have them open. And we're going to do that for every single one of these windows. So I have sped up the velocity for the video, so you don't have to wait too long until this is done. So, and as you can see, we're doing this kind of modeling much easier and much faster because of two things. The first one is that we now know how to do it. And the second one is because we're recycling lots of these parts. So you can model as many as you can, but for this tutorial, this is going to be the last one. And we're just going to continue opening the doors and these windows, and we can make a render and see which ones we have to close a little, like these ones, like that. Make another render, and now we can continue with the rest. Okay, so now we're going to open the ones on the first floor. Just that one and this last one there. And now we can make another render from here. And this is looking pretty good. So we're just going to leave it here. So this is all for this part of the tutorial, and I will see you on the next lesson. Thanks for watching.